Today we're talking about making a Western because we just made and released a Western. Kind of. Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects techniques, going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Connolly. And first, if you haven't seen our new Western sketch yet, go to the little icon up there if you're on YouTube, or the link in the notes below to check it out, because we're about to do the spoiling, so ready, go. All right, fire everything. And we did this in partnership with Hitfilm, again, because they just released their new software, Hitfilm Express 2017, which just launched today and is a great piece of editing and visual effects software, which they put out for free. But it doesn't work like you would expect free software to work. It is really solid and feels like something that you spent a good amount of money on. It has 3D compositing, 360 video tools, audio mixers, and on and on. If you're just starting out or looking for new software, I could not recommend this enough, which is why we partnered with them. We aren't making a dime off of it. I just really believe in what they're doing. So jump over there. The link is in the notes below. Download the software for free. Plus, they have tutorials over there on how they did a lot of the VFX for our Western sketch. But now on to the Western goodness. The main hurdle with this sketch was trying to nail down a convincing Western look, which the main keys were the wardrobe, props, and location. For the wardrobe, at first, we just went around to thrift stores and pieced together the best thing that we could, which looked sad and pathetic. So we moved on from that and found a local costume shop called Dallas Vintage. We got about 90% of our costumes there, with just a few extra pieces that we got online just by Googling things like Old West pants. And then we also got some stuff right from Amazon, including a lot of props like the spurs that you never really saw, the pocket watch, which is amazing, and the guy's boots. For the holster and guns, Google was again our friend. I found all the guns and holsters at a site called blankgunsdirect.com. The website looks like it was made with a Commodore 64, but their products are really great with decent prices. And no, I have no affiliation with them or any of these places. I bought all of this with my monies. And for the location, we actually shot at the same location that we shot Ghost House, which is Storybook Ranch in McKinney, Texas. In the back of their land, they have this great Western street that they use for events that worked perfectly for what we needed. And again, we found it by, yes, you guessed it, Googling. We live in a pretty great time where most of your issues can be solved with this beautiful little search bar. Then for our camera, I again decided to go with the Alexa Mini, which as always I got from Lens Pro to Go. I decided to go with the Alexa because I knew we were going to be shooting all outside in harsh sunlight using only available light, and I find that the Alexa is much more forgiving in that environment than any other camera. Then finally we had our lens choice, which I think the lens that you choose for your project will affect your final look far more than the camera. Your lens really is the main modifier of character in your image. So for this one, we went with the Kawa anamorphic lenses. I really dig these because you get, of course, that nice, wide, classic anamorphic feel, but they have a certain grittiness to them because they are a bit vintage, but without being too dirty. Cut. And then of course we have our grade in the end to tie it all together and get that final look, which for this, John Carrington did the color grade for us again. And to do it, he used a Lut from our new Western Lut Pack, which we just released today. It's a pack of 11 Western looks that you can find more info on below. And we shot this one with these guys, the good fellas at Maker Table. Daniel, Grant, and Ryan Polly make up the team at Maker Table, which is a great local production company over in Denton. Link for those lovely fellas and their work, yes, below. Then as we were shooting, as always, on the day, I packed way too much into one production day without enough crew or money to really pull it off the way that I originally planned. I can't seem to help myself. I'm always reaching just past what is actually possible with what we have, so compromises always have to be made on the fly to make things work. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it happens every time. But I'll talk a little bit more about that on Monday. Now, let's take a quick break to keep the lights on, and then we talk angles, sound, and grading. There's nothing more discouraging than having a pile of overdue paperwork just sitting there staring at you while you try to work or do anything you enjoy at all. Well, our friends at FreshBooks have just launched an all-new version of their cloud accounting software that will give you more time to do the work that you love and not feel discouraged by the paperwork demon. FreshBooks has been redesigned from the ground up and custom built for the way that you work. It's the easiest way to be more productive, organized, and most importantly, get paid quickly. The all-new FreshBooks is not only ridiculously easy to use, it's also packed full of powerful features. You can create and send professional-looking invoices in less than 30 seconds, set up online payments with just a couple of clicks, and get paid up to 4 days faster. You can see when your client has seen your invoice and put an end to the guessing games. Right now, FreshBooks is offering a 30-day unrestricted free trial to film rioters. To claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/filmriot and enter Film Riot in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Logo.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh,
Can you
hey,
have me
buddy.
put another quarter in it?
Of course, all the things that we already discussed helped us dial in the look, but one of the last remaining factors was where we placed the camera. For me, it was all about finding the tone of the classic Western, not necessarily copying it exactly shot for shot. We definitely have those shots in there, but for me, it was a lot about making the guys feel massive, in charge, and badass, which meant low angles that were slightly off axis to give the sense that they aren't entirely approachable, and they're definitely dangerous. Then wide angles and extreme close-ups, it was a lot about extremes without going too crazy, sort of writing a nice fine line. And I kept almost everything on sticks, no real movement, just letting the scene play out, not feeling the presence of the operator for most of the shots. We did of course have some movement in there as well, though for those, as much as I would have loved to have laid tracks and been on a proper dolly, we didn't have the time or money as usual for that, so we went with the next best thing, and that was the Movi Pro that we rented from Lens Pro. I will say that I do have a slight love-hate relationship with gimbal type systems. I love what they allow me to get, which I could not do otherwise on a budget, but I don't love that ocean style flow that you get to some shots as if you were shooting from a boat. The plus side here is that because it is so smooth, you can fix that wobble easy enough with some stabilization in post, and then you're good. Then of course we have our sound. The score for this one of course was done by Daniel James as always. We have a pack of his music coming soon, and the sound design and mix was done by Krekel. Rob came out a few weeks ago to record a bunch of custom sounds that we used for the short. We bought a few authentic guns and recorded those sounds, and a ton of additional stuff like clothes, boots, gun foley, holsters, hats, bullets, and so on. One interesting thing was how we recorded the boots walking on wood. To get that sort of hollow wood sound that you hear when walking on those old storefront wooden porches, we took a piece of plywood and suspended it off the ground by placing it on apple boxes. Then we just had Josh throw on the boots and walk on. It worked really well, especially with a little bit of dirt added to the mix. And we didn't just record those sounds for us. Rob is working hard on creating a Western sound effects pack that we're gonna make available for you guys very soon.
Logo.
But that's it, a quick look at how we got our Western vibe in our latest sketch. Again, make sure you grab a free copy of Hitfilm Express. There's no catch. It seriously is just really solid software that they are offering to you for free. And make sure to check out our new Western Lut Pack as well. We have Luts inspired by 310 to Yuma and Westworld, of course, but also Back to the Future 3, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Django Unchained, No Country for Old Men, Once Upon a Time in the West, The Assassination of Jesse James, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Hateful Eight, and True Grit. And we have added more log options from Sony, Canon, Red, Alexa, Panasonic, and generic, so you should be covered no matter what you're using. And of course, all the utility LUTs that we always add that you might need. And on top of that, we've now included VLT LUTs, which means you can load those right into your GH5 if you have one. And of course, although they're based on Westerns, it doesn't just work for Western. You throw it on different footage like this, and you're still getting really great grades. All of this is just pushing your image toward a more cinematic feel. So definitely check that out because you're getting all that for just 15 bucks. And I'll see you next week when I'm not wearing a bustle.
How new.